joining for another edition of Notoriety. Each week we bring everything that's important to mark on your calendar, what's not to be missed, all that water cooler talk, everything that's happening, and of course, all of the highlights of anything happening for Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland, and beyond. And this broadcast is the equivalent of all of the columns, print stories read in my flagship Post Tribune, which is under Chicago Tribune Media and that company. Captured also at chicagotribune.com as well. We've been coming to you these past 8 years, and thanks to the courtesy, generosity of the folks such as People's Bank, the Indiana Arts Commission, and Legacy Foundation. Today's broadcast is being captured on Thursday morning, April the 10th, 2025. Just so in case you might be hearing a rebroadcast, you'll want to know exactly when the live feed came in. And some of you are able to join and see the extra added components that come from our TV studios here in Hammond, the Strack and Van Til studios in Hammond, Indiana for WJOB and JED TV. Others of you maybe are on the traditional radio dial. We're just so glad that you are joining us in our conversation, which is sure to make you hungry today. Today we're talking about what is really a dining destination that is not only iconic, but it's legendary in its status. We have a location that we're kind of sandwiched in between here for Northwest Indiana, between our Chicagoland location, which is in Naperville, and I believe we also have one in Indianapolis. Sullivan Steakhouse, but they do so much more than that. They are going to be celebrating a 30-year anniversary coming up next year, which I'm just amazed by. And joining us is from our location that is to the north here in Naperville. We have with us Matt. Matt is the, I believe, general manager. Matt, can you hear? Can you hear and see me there? There we are. Good to see you. Yep, let's make sure we get some volume there. Unmute. Let's see here.
All right.
There we are. I hear you. Hello and welcome.
Thank you, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. And did I get the title right? Is it GM for the location there in Naperville?
Yes, sir. I'm a general manager here, and I'm managing general partner for the company.
Very good. And then, Matt, give us your full name so we have it.
Yep, Matthew Coover.
Coover. All right, very good. And you have a long history. I believe we crossed paths a few weeks ago, and that was at the Naperville location. But as I mentioned, we probably crossed paths even when I was writing my columns even farther back with the times when there was our Lincolnshire location, too, which is very close to the Marriott Lincolnshire Resort. So your history with that brand and that company goes for how many years, Matt?
Just about 10. I celebrated a 10-year anniversary not too long ago.
And as I mentioned in the introduction to the show, we're kind of sneaking along here to what will be a big 30th anniversary celebration next year. It's incredible knowing that Sullivan's has a history that started with the launch in 1996. So what do you think? What are some of the reasons that Sullivan continues to be such a hallowed brand when it comes to dining and really kicking it up a notch for what I call white tablecloth dining?
Well, we try to keep it innovative. We try to keep things moving and updated while staying very true to our traditions. Keeping some of the staples while kind of taking things up a notch when it comes to the cuisine and things of that nature, and the spirits and whatnot.
And again, when we talk about that location that you have that is in Naperville, it's something that I referred to as white tablecloth dining, but it's such a comfortable space, though, which is a part of what is the lure of Sullivan's, and that it's very inviting. It's not intimidating dining. It's just the opposite. It's comfortable, and it's a chance to explore. I'm always getting, different updates and highlights for what are the seasonal specials. So it is not just a stagnant menu by any means, correct?
No, not at all. We have, innovation, and the unique thing about Sullivan's as a brand is that we don't have a typical corporate chef. A lot of the ideas and the dishes and the creations come from the front lines, from the executive chefs themselves, being able to have a voice and have a microphone and speak and be heard, which is a huge draw for our chefs, because they're not stuck in a box, they're not stuck in a creativity trap, if you will. Mm-hmm. They're able to showcase their creativity and their addition to the evolution of the menu itself.
And Matt, do you have Chicagoland roots?
Yes, I grew up in Chicago and in Logan Square, and then migrated towards the northwest suburbs.
So we know Sullivan's is I get a bit of a back feed. I'll let our producer know here so she can maybe do a couple dial changes here a little bit. Just only when I'm talking, not when Matt's talking. But we are so known for Chicagoland and even Northwest Indiana with so many wonderful fine dining and steakhouse, opportunities. Sullivan's is right there, elbow to elbow. So this is not an easy landscape to have such assured success. But Sullivan's has certainly done that throughout the years. Was I correct when I mentioned earlier on the introduction? Is it about 15 locations you have around the country or Midwest? Is that about right for all the other Sullivans?
Yep, you're spot on. Actually, I think it's 14, and then they range all the way from North Carolina to Anchorage, Alaska. We got a location all the way up in Anchorage
And
that does very well.
and even with oh, okay. So it looks like I thought the audio maybe the hiccup might be a little bit. It sounds like maybe there might just be some backfeed that comes from Matt's end there. So, but I hear you clear and steer, so we should be fine here. Looking kind of again as a columnist that's written for more than 20 years about different dining establishments and travels, I'm always learning something all the time. Sullivan's, I'm thinking, gosh, Sullivan's is the name of some maybe Irish whiskey bootlegger from years ago or some type of legend or lore. It really comes from John Sullivan, who folks would know from what type of a career in the sports world.
Well, he was originally a bare knuckle boxer back in the early 19th century, and he was essentially responsible for putting boxing on the map. It was really, a time period when boxing was becoming a nationalized sport, and he was the best. He was very good at what he did. He was one of the best boxers, and that's why we bear his namesake.
Yeah.
He's best at what he does. He fights for what he believes in, and he was the champion. And that's again, that's why we bear his namesake, and that's why we name a cocktail after him called the Knockout. And that's where our roots come from. And that's when you spoke a little bit about the atmosphere. That's where there's kind of two pieces to the restaurant. One, especially with this location, is the bar lounge area, which is where it's kind of a blend of amazing cuisine and live music, and it kind of gives that ringside atmosphere to it. It's kind of the heartbeat and the pulse of the restaurant, and it's an amazing piece of what we do. And I really believe it's part of the reason why we've been successful for so long, is that recipe of, again, blending amazing cuisine and the atmosphere. So people come, they come because it's a traditional steakhouse, but it's also very innovative.
It had been a while since I'd been out that way towards Naperville. And again, Adrian, when I speak is when I hear my bit of backfeed, but you think it might be with our guests maybe, but it's only when I don't hear it right now, but sometimes I'll hear a little bit of an undertone. Naperville, you are really just a stone's throw from what's that famous Riverwalk area. Is that right, Matt?
Yes, we're kitty cornered from the Riverwalk, so it's we're very fortunate to have an amazing location. The amount of foot traffic that comes through there, and it's really the heartbeat. Speaking of heartbeat, it's the heartbeat of the town, essentially.
Which congratulations are in order for this April, the 10th date, because on the radio as I'm driving in, what do I hear? Naperville once again has hit one of the number one city destinations for what is that utopia or that paradise surroundings to live for a great lifestyle and all the opportunities that is arts, culture, dining, and Naperville once again at the ranking at the top of the list. So you're in the right place, and they're doing something right out your way, Matt.
Yeah, we try to not reinvent the wheel. We try to execute and make sure that when people come, they get the experience that they deserve and blow their socks off. And if once we've set the bar that high, we need to keep it there. So.
And again, when I'm getting a press release or an alert that talks about what some of the new seasonal offerings and things, it can be themed for a holiday. It can be themed for St. Patrick's Day. It's always a clever cocktail or, again, kind of a specialized entree. I'm guessing that there's a tasting or some things that are crossing your desk or your dining room table, Matt, first before there's ever a green light and it goes out the door.
Oh yeah, that's it. It kind of goes back to the innovativeness of the chefs and our in-house sommeliers. We're always putting together at least once a month. We come up with a wine dinner, a spirit dinner. We just recently did a tequila dinner with Lalo Tequila. Um, we do Casamigos. I think last year we did a Casamigos tequila dinner. We've done bourbon dinners. Where we take our guests on a tour through the bourbon trail. And then obviously we craft a menu that's beautifully paired with each and every one of the cocktails that we're serving, or the glasses of wine, whatever the case may be. But that's something that comes from within the company and the chefs here within the four walls. These are our chefs able to again break out of that box and showcase their creativity and put together things like that in record time.
Again, if you're just tuning in and you're hearing that voice, or if you've got the added advantage of the video stream to see that face that goes with the voice, Matt Coover, General Manager, also one of the operating partners for Sullivan's Steakhouse. Sullivan's based right up in Naperville. Our producer's floating some very delectable menu items, which we're going to talk about here in just a moment. Matt, it's a good opportunity for you to toss out a website, phone number that lets the listeners and viewers do some of their own homework.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So we're located downtown Naperville, right as he mentioned, right next to the Riverwalk, 244 South Main Street, Naperville, Illinois. You can always reach us to make a reservation at 630-305-0230. We always have a friendly hostess staff ready to take your call and make a reservation for you and ensure that you have a nice seat. Especially with coming up for Easter, we have a special menu prepared for Easter, not too far off from our typical. We want to showcase what we do best, which is steak. So we're going to keep, that's going to be the primary focus of the menu, but we're filling up fast. The reservations are coming in at record speed. So,
yeah, we are down to the wire. I was going to ask you about Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day. Right now, there is some availability, but again, plan and get your number and your name in there, huh?
Oh yeah, we're just about full for Easter and Mother's Day. You can't get your name in the hat soon enough.
And then a website, Matt. Best website?
Definitely www.sullivanssteakhouse.com. We'll take you straight to all of our locations. You'll be able to view all of our menus, all of our wine lists, all of our cocktails, anything up and coming, any kind of a wine dinner that I mentioned before that's coming up, right there on our website.
All right, so we're going to peruse and discuss a few of these photos that have been floating across the screen and tempting and delectable as we do our broadcast day on this April the 10th, 2025. And our producer might have noticed a couple of these shots when Tony Panic, who's another fellow radio personality and media name here, was ordering his cocktail. Matt, it came out in a glass case in a box, and it was served. And when that door opened, there was a smoky haze that came out as he raised his highball glass with it. Do you know exactly what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so that's our smoked rosemary and orange old fashioned.
Yeah.
So what we do is we take bourbon. It's a very simple, as everybody knows, an old fashioned is a very simple, no pun intended, old fashioned spirit forward drink. And we like to keep it that way. So we, a little bit of bourbon, a little bit of simple syrup, a dash of Reagan's orange bitters. We muddle a Bordeaux cherry, and then finish it off with an orange peel. And one of the keys to this cocktail is we garnish it with a rosemary sprig, which has a char to it already. We char the rosemary sprig, so it's got that charred smokiness to it, to the drink itself. At that point, we put it inside the smoke box, fill the box with smoke, and then present it tableside to the guest. It's a head turner. It's a showstopper. Usually, people take out their phones and start the video, but it's an amazing presentation, and it also gives the cocktail so much more to it. So and that smokiness really pairs well with the old fashioned. So that's I believe that's the one you were referencing. It's one of the most popular ones. It's a hit. Once one person orders it, then it's kind of a domino effect after that.
Absolutely, that was one of the real highlights. I know that for an appetizer, of course, you happen to have a great selection of fresh oysters that evening too. So we say steak, but there's certainly the balance and that fair share of fresh seafood as well offering. Correct?
Oh yeah. So yeah, we make sure that we have daily harvested and freshly shucked oysters on a daily basis. We actually offer them 3 different ways. You can get them freshly shucked. You can get them traditional Rockefeller style, which is where we put, some Nutski's bacon, a little bit of cream spinach, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, broil it. And then the third way we have our super traditional char-broiled oysters. And that comes with a little bit of Cajun butter, Parmesan cheese, broiler. All of them are absolutely amazing. So when you come in, you get, not only fresh oysters, but three different options.
And I think the first image that our producer was showing, it was a signature appetizer idea, and it was something very inventive and clever. I want to say it was almost an egg roll with like a Philly steak. Am I saying this right? That sound familiar?
So that's a staple of ours. It's a Philly cheesesteak egg roll. So what we do is we take filet mignon, filet of tenderloin. It is mixed with grilled onions and cheese, wrapped up in a wonton shell, deep fried, and we top it with a sweet chili glaze and a little bit of honey mustard, a little bit of chives, a couple black sesame seeds. It's absolutely amazing. They're slightly addictive. Most people that come in, they know that that's one of our staple desserts, and it never disappoints.
I mean, that appetizer, it melts in your mouth. It is just absolutely scrumptious. We're ready to do our tour of that amazing platter of the different cuts and steaks, which we have a photo of the waiter displaying them. Matt, I'm going to let you give us our tour. But a reminder, we have Matt Coover. He's the general manager. He's also owning partner for Sullivan's. Sullivan's, you might know, is Sullivan's Steakhouse, based and anchored in Naperville. It's our only location for Chicagoland. If you go to the south, it's going to be in Indianapolis. One of 14 locations around the country. Never, ever disappoints for just a relaxing evening. That is, it makes any dining event a special occasion, I have to say. Part of which is the preparation of the different cuts and steaks that are offered. So you mind giving us just sort of one of your abridged tours of that platter of all the wonderful cuts awaiting?
Sure. So one of our showcase. First of all, we pride ourselves on the fact that we butcher most of our house cut steaks in house. So they're all hand cut, expertly crafted by our in-house chefs. And we pride ourselves in our bone-in selections. It's just like a chicken, the bone, more flavor. So the classic end of the spectrum is going to be your filet of tenderloin. We offer a 6, an 8, and a 12-ounce filet. Again, these are hand cut in-house. We source all of our beef from stockyards in very local in Aurora here. Very, very good rate. And a lot of our steaks are a variation of prime steaks, and top choice bottom prime. Another one that we offer, and we've really, again, evolved over time. And one of our signatures that we now have is we actually have A5 Japanese Wagyu, which is an amazing experience. If you've never experienced it before, I believe you should try it at least once in your lifetime. To kind of wrap around the circle, we do have a New York strip, which is a prime Wagyu New York strip. Again, with the bone, it adds a lot more flavor. And with, the Japanese American Wagyu, you're looking at a lot more marble in that steak, which is literally melts in your mouth like it were butter. The next one, I'm trying to visualize it in my head. The cowboy cut is what we call a cowboy cut. It's a bone-in ribeye, and this is another one that we cut in-house directly from the loin, and it's a 22-ounce wet-aged bone-in ribeye. Absolutely amazing. One of my defaults. Again, the bone just adds a little bit of a lot more flavor to the steak itself. And then we have some 16-ounce ribeyes. Moving around the tray, one of our showcase steaks is you think of Fred Flintstone when you look at this one. It's a long. This is one of our dry aged steaks. It is dry aged for a minimum of 32 days. And shipped directly to us. It's an absolute beast of a steak. It's a 28-ounce dry aged long bone ribeye. So it's going to come out with a bone about the size. It's about a foot long. And it comes out, and it's just, besides the look, it's an absolutely amazing steak. Because of the fact that it's dry aged. And when I don't want to geek out on steaks too much, but the major difference when you're eating a dry aged steak is it's going to have a lot more it shrinks in the process, so it's going to have a lot more of a robust kind of a nuttier flavor to it. And it's another experience that if you haven't had a dry aged steak, please do once in your lifetime. It's a game changer. And then I don't think I'm missing one, but another one of the house favorites is the Cajun ribeye, which we basically take it and soak it in Cajun spices overnight, and then serve it. Absolutely life changing.
And really, and none of these cuts they're prepared to perfection. They really need little or no adornment. But hey, if you're good to go all the way. So I know the fillet that I had, I did a small petite cut fillet just to be able to savor it. But I did it Oscar style. I think there's a picture of it. You'll see some asparagus spears with it, lump crab meat. Oh, that delicious savory béarnaise sauce. I'm telling you, it's the things that later on you will dream about, right, Matt?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's both sides of the spectrum. When we serve our steaks, the meat, we like to showcase the meat itself, whether it be a cocktail, the spirit itself. But with a filet mignon or a ribeye, a lot of people will ask, they're like, "What do you put on these steaks? Like, why is this so good? What is the seasoning? What's the trick?" And I tell them, like, it's salt and black pepper.
Right.
That's it. And we finish it with a touch of clarified butter right before we serve it to you. But the key is that we're cooking the steaks in an 1800 degree infrared broiler, so which cooks from the top down. So what happens is for lack of a better term, it kind of caramelizes the top and holds in all of that flavor and all of the juices. And that's why it tastes that's why it explodes in your mouth and cuts like butter. But then on the other side of the spectrum as well, we have, you can go, grilled mushrooms, we have grilled onions, we have a Cabernet goat cheese butter, we have a Gorgonzola garlic butter, we have a Cajun butter, we have a A5 Wagyu butter that you can actually add to your steak. So the list goes on and on as far as enhancements and what you can do and what you can create with these steaks and with your dish. It is almost endless.
Absolutely. And I got to tell our producer, she'll understand this as well. I think dining guest Tony Panic was very disappointed that we had another engagement later on down that road that we had to forego worrying about anything to do with the dessert. But there are many dessert believers out there, including Tony Panic. So, Matt, can you just give us a few of the highlights? I bet there's probably a cheesecake there somewhere. Give us some of the favorites on that dessert platter.
Oh, sure. The New York style cheesecake is one of our best desserts that we have. And everything is scratch kitchen. And when I say everything, that's everything. I mean, we make the strawberry puree. We make the crust. It's a graham cracker crusted New York style cheesecake made in house with a strawberry puree and fresh strawberries on top. We top it with a little bit of powdered sugar, house made whipped cream, and then serve it. Another popular item is our key lime pie. One of the reasons it's so popular is we use real key lime juice. So it's not it really, it has a little bit of a tartness to it, but it has that authenticity to it. It's something that when people know, key lime connoisseurs come around, they know that this is the real deal. Another thing that we have been doing is we do a creme brulee, but we have kind of a rotating variety of creme brulees. For example, we have our typical vanilla. We have a Nutella creme brulee, which is amazing. We have a Saint Germain creme brulee, which is literally made with a Saint Germain liqueur. It has a little bit of an herbaceous taste to it. Herbaceous taste to it. And then we also do a Grand Marnier creme brulee. So every time you walk in the door, it's kind of a surprise on what the creme brulee of the day is. And, we want to make sure that it's, we keep it lively and keep it rotating. So.
And again, when you've been doing something for a 30-year history, I think you've got it figured out for, again, what's the secret formula and the secret ingredients to success. In addition, as you mentioned, being surrounded by an incredible selection of wines and different libations and offerings, and the list goes on and on and on. Just as we start to close here, Matt, a reminder again, let's get a website so you can do some homework out there, as well as the best phone number for Sullivan's right along the Riverwalk in Naperville, Illinois.
Yes, sir. So the website is www.sullivanssteakhouse.com. That'll take you to all of our locations. The phone number, if you'd like to make a reservation with us, please do, 630-305-0230. Please visit the website. You'll see all of our upcoming events, all of the new and exciting things that we're doing. And we're right downtown, right in the heart of downtown Naperville.
And again, it was a very easy jaunt to get there. Just I hopped on 294 up and around and over to 88, and you were there just in two shakes of a lamb's tail, as I like to say. Matt, please come back anytime and continue to keep us up on everything that's happening there. And boy, your 10-year anchor there, again, is a proven success. That is one of the reasons, again, that is such a destination for dining, and we appreciate everything that you do as well, Matt.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And then, been a big hello to the entire team there, and thank you again. We'll see you soon, right around the corner. And a thank you to all of our viewers, listeners. Thank you for being a part of our broadcast, the podcast that is today of Notoriety with your host, Phil Potempa, always bringing you everything you want to know to mark on your calendar, everything that everybody is talking about, and what is surely not to be missed. Thank you so much, and we will see you again next week. Okay. Are you there, Matt? Hello, Matt. Are you there? Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Hello, Matt. Hello, Matt. Hey, Kenny, is he looking at you? What if you wave at him? Will he respond back? Oh, can you hear me, Matt? Okay, he must be wrapped up. That's fine. Just don't want to leave him hanging there. Will you take a photo of me then, real quick, and do our usual fun shots? I wondered that. I wondered that. All right, now you hop in there. Here we go. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay.